When you start on this path of awakening, this journey of discovering who you truly are, you begin to grasp something profound. What you are doing right here and now is exactly what the entire universe is doing in this very place and moment. Just as a wave is something the whole ocean does, you are something the whole cosmos is doing. You're not some puppet being pushed around by life. The real, deep down you is the universe itself, expressing itself. So when you die, you're not going to face an eternity of nothingness. That's not even an experience. Many people are terrified of death because they think it as like being locked in a dark room forever trapped in some kind of void. But here's something worth pondering, something ancient traditions encourage us to meditate on. Try to imagine what it's like to go to sleep and never, ever wake up. Think about that carefully. Even children wonder about this. What would it feel like to fall into a sleep and simply never return? And if you follow that question deeply enough, it leads to another one. What was it like to wake up? Having never gone to sleep? That was your birth. You see, you can't actually experience nothing. Nature doesn't allow a vacuum. So after death, what happens is the same kind of beautiful mystery that happened before you were even born. People die, others are born. And all of them, you, me, everyone are expressions of the same great unfolding. The only thing is, you experience life one at a time. Everybody says I when they speak of themselves, and wherever life emerges in this vast galaxy or beyond, it's always you looking out. You don't need to remember your past lives in the same way you don't consciously operate your thyroid, or direct your own heartbeat, or tell the sun to shine. You just do it like breathing. Isn't it astonishing how complex and amazing you are? You're orchestrating all of this, and you were never formally taught how. But while consciousness brings awareness, it also brings limitation. Our ordinary way of seeing the world leaves so much out, and sometimes it leaves out the most important things. There are deep, calming truths that we're socially trained to ignore. We don't get to know the lowdown on life. Not because it's forbidden in some malicious way, but because our filters, our senses, are selective. We see only a narrow band of reality. We miss the cosmic rays, the gamma rays, the hum of frequencies outside our range. Even our best instruments can't detect them all. Reality is a symphony of vibrations, some we hear, and many we don't. Think of it like playing a harp. You don't just strum all the strings at once, it would sound chaotic. Instead, you pick a pattern, leave out certain notes, and from that you create a melody. So here's the big question. What have you left out? You see the world as fragmented, this person, that tree, this city. But you've forgotten something absolutely essential. Not your keys, not your name, but the deep connection that underlies everything. Ask yourself, who am I? You might answer with your name, but if I press you further, no, really, who are you? You might get defensive or confused. And yet that very question is the gateway. It leads to the truth we've all forgotten, that each of us is a manifestation of the entire universe. Call it God, call it Brahman, call it the Tao. Every single one of us is asterisk, that asterisk. But we're all playing an incredibly convincing game of pretending we're not. Now, here's where it gets truly beautiful. You can live your life fully as yourself, play your role. Go to work, pay the bills, raise your kids, while still knowing the truth that lies underneath it all. That's living on two levels at once. And when you do that, when you hold both the surface and the depth at the same time, life becomes play. You become, as I like to say, a truly swinging human being. But if you only live at the surface, if you believe the illusion is all there is, life gets heavy. You struggle, you survive, you pass that struggle on to your kids. And people begin to feel exhausted, depressed, like life has no point. Some even want out, and in a way, who can blame them? But life doesn't have to be like that. Life can be spontaneous. In Taoism, nature is described as of itself, so it just happens effortlessly. It flows, it moves, it breathes. It doesn't ask for permission. Even the Buddha didn't schedule when to fart, it just happened. Nature doesn't need planning to be what it is. This is the challenge for all artists, to playing on command. Creativity is a kind of controlled accident. We've been trained to use our minds very narrowly, to ignore the fact that every one of us is an aperture through which the universe sees itself. You are a window for the cosmos. But you've been taught to believe you're just the window frame, the ego, the personality, the name. And we forget the incredible view. Now, if you can be you Harry Wilson or whoever you are, while also knowing you're the entire process, that's a kind of enlightenment. It creates harmony, it brings joy, because you know the serious dramas of life are also part of the game. It doesn't mean your struggles don't matter, but they're like waves in the ocean, or seashells on the shore, each with its own unique, perfect design. Have you ever really looked at a seashell? There's not a single flaw in it. Now, do you think seashells judge each other's patterns? Of course not, but that's what we do. Each of us is extraordinary, intricate, wild, and beautiful. You don't need to change. Just look into someone's eyes. They're like stars, like gems, incredible. But we've specialized in a kind of attention that filters all that out. We focus so narrowly that we miss the overwhelming beauty of daily life and the unity that underlies it all. It's like staring at a tapestry so closely that you only see one thread and you miss the whole pattern. Or like magnifying embroidery. At one level, it looks orderly, zoom in and it's chaos. Zoom further and you find a deeper order once again. This dance between chaos and order, this is life. It's a wave, on and off, presence and absence, life and death. Take sound. There's no sound without silence. A melody isn't just notes, it's the spaces between them. Life and death are part of the very same song. So when we forget that disorder and randomness are necessary partners to structure and clarity, we fall into anxiety. We forget that everything is connected to every other thing, just as every mountain is part of the same earth. You are part of that continuity. You are that continuity, so don't be afraid of death. Don't cling so tightly to life that you forget to live it. Because the truth is, life is music, not a march. And you are the dance of the whole universe. Who are you really? No, not your name. Not your job title, not what your social media bio says. And definitely not the version of you that's been shaped by expectations, obligations, or fear. I'm asking, beneath all of that, who are you really? In this video, we're going to peel away the layers of roles, conditioning, and noise to find what's at the core. We live in a world that is obsessed with identity. We're constantly told to define ourselves. Be unique. Stand out. Build your personal brand. And in this rush to create an identity, we often end up mistaking the mask for the face. You might say, I'm a doctor, or I'm an artist, or maybe I'm an introvert, or I'm confident. But these are just labels, roles we play. They are not the essence of who you are. Modern society loves definitions because they create a sense of order and predictability. But here's the truth. You are not a static definition. You are a process. A constant flow. You are not your thoughts because they change from moment to moment. You are not your emotions. They rise and fall like waves. And you are not your achievements. They are moments in time that eventually fade. So, if you're not any of those things, what's left? Think about it. From the moment you were born, the world started telling you who to be. Your parents, your teachers, your friends, the culture you grew up in. They said things like, you're so smart, or you're shy, or maybe you're just not good at math. And slowly, without even realizing it, we internalize these stories. We build a self-image out of them. But here is the catch. A lot of these stories were never truly ours to begin with. Modern psychology shows us that much of what we call our identity is just a patchwork of social conditioning. The clothes you wear, the language you speak, the goals you chase, most of these were introduced to you long before you had a chance to choose them for yourself. And yet, we cling to them as if they are our absolute truth. So if our identity is built on stories we inherited from others, is it any wonder so many of us feel a little lost? The great psychologist Carl Jung talked about the persona, the social mask we wear to function in society. It's a necessary tool. It helps us navigate different situations. But the problem arises when we confuse the mask with our actual face. When that happens, we stop living authentically and start performing. We stop responding from our core and start reacting based on our programming. The modern world often rewards this false self, the carefully curated, polished version of us that we show to everyone. But underneath it all, the real self, that quiet, steady awareness behind all the roles, waits patiently. It doesn't need validation from others. It doesn't seek approval or applause. It simply is. Think of it like the sky vast, open, and completely untouched, while your thoughts, emotions, and roles are just clouds passing by. You are not the clouds. You are the sky. So how do you reconnect with who you really are? It's not as complicated as it sounds. Here are a few simple ways, grounded in both modern science and ancient wisdom. First, practice stillness. Spend some time in silence each day. Meditation isn't just some trendy wellness hack. It's a powerful technique to observe yourself without judgment. You get to see the inner workings of your mind from a distance. Second, try reflection. Start a journal. But don't do it for an Instagram post, do it for yourself. Ask yourself some honest questions. What do I do simply because I love it? And what do I do because I feel like I'm expected to? Getting clear on your motivations is a huge step. Third, practice letting go. Learn to detach from the labels you've attached to yourself. You are not successful or unsuccessful. You are a person who is constantly growing and evolving. And finally, cultivate presence. Practice being right where you are. Not lost in yesterday's regrets or tomorrow's anxieties, but fully here now. The more time you spend with your real self, the more peace you'll begin to feel. Because deep down, who you truly are doesn't need to be invented. It just needs to be remembered. You don't have to escape to a remote mountain to find yourself. You don't need to completely reinvent your life from scratch. All you really need to do is stop running from yourself and look within. Who you really are is not your job title, not your past mistakes, or even your thoughts. You are the awareness behind it all, the silent observer, the witness. In a world that's constantly telling you to be more, do more, and achieve more sometimes, the most radical and powerful thing you can do is just be. So the next time someone asks you, who are you? Take a moment, pause, smile, and remember, you are not a role. You are not a product. You are not a performance. You are presence. You are awareness. You are life itself experiencing itself through your eyes. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey today. If this resonated with you, please hit that like button and consider subscribing for more content that helps us connect with our true selves. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. See you in the next video.